Hello, I'm off on another hike today. I've got one plant species in mind that I want to look for. I'm looking for the stiff gentian. They only live in a very limited number of habitats, and where I'm at, it's a prairie. It's a regular dry prairie, but it does have one area that in the past, when I was here years ago, I found stiff gentian blooming this time of year. So I'm hoping I can find it again and at least find the area, and then within that area I'm hoping that the gentians are blooming. So let's go take a hike and see if I can find, or if we can find, the stiff gentians. To get to the prairie that I want to search for the gentian, I'm going to have to hike through this grassy buffer along the edge of this cornfield. It's rained, so the ground is a bit on the muddy side, right on the edge. And if I'm walking in the brush, I got raspberries and I got lots and lots of bugs. But that might be what I have to do to find the gentian, so let's keep going. The weedy vegetation along the edge of the field has gotten so tall, and I'm struggling to see that it's decent to walk so I'm not falling over stuff. So I've opted instead to just go a couple rows into the cornfield and walk through the corn. I sure hope I can find this plant and that it's blooming. Some people might wonder why it's even worth it to know if this plant is blooming this year, and I want to shoot pictures of it and look at it if it's just a few plants in one isolated area. Well, I'll tell you, some of these plants are so uncommon that most people don't even know they exist. And if we don't keep track of them, if we don't maintain some knowledge of where they're at and what their condition is, we stand to lose them, and once we lose them, they're gone forever. So for that reason, I kind of keep track of the uncommon plants. Yes, I have to work harder to get to them, but it's okay. It's all worth it when I can share with others, such as you folks who are watching this, that these plants exist here in Northeast Iowa, and that they're thriving in their tiny little space of habitat. So that's why I do this. I hope it's worthwhile. I've made it out of the cornfield bordering the edge of the prairie, and now I've got to walk around on this ridge till I can get over to where the plant might be. Clearly I've got some distance to go yet. Still, I'm seeing lots of wildflowers here. Nothing I haven't seen elsewhere, so I'm not going to stop to photograph these. I have some time, but I have not enough time to photograph every plant that I see, so I'll keep working my way over. I'm literally depending on memory from a couple, 2, 3, maybe more, maybe longer ago, years ago, to see if I can find that one small spot where I've seen stiff gentians before. I'll admit, I am not sure if I'm going to find it. I can tell you for sure, though, that it was a workout just getting this far. And I'm not there yet. Well, folks, unfortunately, I struck out. I cannot find any of the stiff gentians here this year. So what I'm going to do, since I'm here, is I'm going to photograph a few of the other wildflowers that are blooming in this habitat, and I will include photos of the stiff gentian that I've taken in previous years in this video, so that you know what I was looking for. And then I'm going to go back and have to research my notes and see if I'm in the exact spot. I believe I am, but I don't know. I'll have to look. But nonetheless, I will put some stiff gentian photos in this video so that you can see what that little plant looks like. One of two things has happened out here. Either I didn't look in the right spot, or the stiff gentians aren't blooming this year. Either way, I've got to head out. So I'm gonna work my way back to my truck and have to do some research, see if I can figure it out. Lesson learned, always make sure you record the GPS coordinates, because it is possible that I'm not in the right spot. I don't think so, but it's possible. So anyway, I'm gonna work my way back to the truck. I've made it to the ridge, which so far is making the hike a lot easier. I'm hoping to avoid corn, having to go back through corn to get back to my truck. The challenge is I'm gonna have to bushwhack all the way back to the truck. I can do that though. One thing about this is dress appropriate. I'm warm, but I have long pants on and knee boots. I'm surprised I haven't seen snakes yet. I don't know how many bugs, and a lot of weeds and brush that want to scratch you up. But I knew that going into it. This prairie is really a pretty prairie. I come here a couple times a year because in the spring there's some interesting flowers that bloom here that aren't so common. And then, like I said, in the fall, used to see stiff gentians here. Maybe they're not here anymore, I don't know. But I'm gonna do some research, see what I can find, and maybe next time I'll see something of stiff gentian character. This is the type of habitat that if it's not burned on a periodic basis, the woody growth can really begin to encroach. I do know that it was burned here not too long ago. I don't know when it's set for the next burning, but it probably could benefit from it. But yet, on the other hand, there's a lot of wide open space yet too. And boy, is it warm. When I hike through habitat like this, I wonder where are the pheasants, because I haven't scared up a single pheasant. Although they have plenty of cover, they're probably just sitting tight. Are there any coyotes out here? Are there any deer? I've seen a few places where the deer have been bedded, but I haven't seen any deer. I'm sure they're out here though. Now, if I can just figure out my way back to my truck. I wrote a post some time ago that all who wander are not lost. And even though I don't know for sure where my truck is, I'm not lost. I'm out wandering and I'm enjoying it. And I know that I'll find my truck. It's not like I'm in the great desert where we go for miles. I'll find it. I'm thinking I ought to be seeing my truck sometime, but I haven't. So I continue to wander through the brush in what I believe is the right direction based on my gut feeling and where the sun is positioned. And hopefully that truck will be there. Let me show you what I'm walking through. It's probably scarier, or looks scarier than it is. It's just tall weeds. Vegetation. It's too bad we can't figure out a way to harvest this stuff and make a lot of money off of it. I gotta get out of this really tall stuff. It's taller than I am. Having to hold my camera up over my head. Let's see. I think there's a way through this over here if I go a few more feet. Oh, let the itching begin. And it is. All right, where's that truck? I'm not the type of person who uses this stuff, and I don't even know if this is the stuff you can use. But just take a look at those leaves. Earlier I mentioned maybe harvesting this stuff to make some money. Who knows? Maybe I could be a millionaire if I looked around. I did find my truck, so with that I'm gonna head home, call this video to a close, and I'll add some photos here to the end, including stiff gentian pictures that I didn't take today but have been taken out here and elsewhere if needed. But it's still a good hike, a little bit disappointing, but still a good hike. It's always a good hike to be out on a prairie. With that, I thank you for watching.